Your Views, My Facts begins in 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to Your Views and My Facts. I am Thomas John. Good podcast that we're going to be doing today. I've got one of my good friends here, Jeremy. He's going to be talking to us about comedy and his influence from comedy and where he does some performance, as well as I also have Sean in the room as well. Everybody probably knows Sean. He's been on a few of our podcasts as well, so he's going to try to help add some good dynamics to the show. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and introduce Jeremy. Jeremy, how are you?
Doing good. What's going on, man?
It's going. I'm glad that you're finally here.
Yeah, man. Me too.
I'm also glad that you had liked the setup in here.
Dude, it's professional.
It probably could be a little bit better. I mean,
Hey, I mean, I'm sure that there's a lot of like podcasters out there that do the same stuff. So I mean, as long as you like it, then you're good to go, man.
Right. I'm not going to go into any names here because that's not what I want to do. But I have heard other podcasts, and sometimes the output audio does not sound as good as what my output audio is.
Yeah, I mean, you got the sound deadening on the walls. We don't want to hear echoes in here, man.
No, you don't. One thing that is picked up though pretty often is when my dog starts barking. If he starts barking,
or scratching or doing anything like that.
No lie, your dog has not stopped licking my leg since I got in here until just now. He was standing right here just licking my leg the whole time we were talking, getting set up.
I thought he was laying down.
No, he was licking this leg for how long have we been here? Like 10 minutes? I'm not complaining.
If you weren't clean before, you're clean now. Because what they say is that their mouths are cleaner.
I mean, I'm sure that's right. It's got to be.
Who knows? I mean, seeing what they do, though, with their mouths and their tongue sometimes.
I have a dog, too, so...
So you're aware.
Jury's out.
All right, let's go into Sean. Sean, go ahead and say hello. Obviously, you've been on here many times before, so...
What's up, everyone? This is Sean.
He's got that really, like, butter voice.
That's what I try to do.
He's like, hey, what's going on, guys? It's me,
Well,
Sean.
the problem is, though, is that
I've been here for a while,
is that he used to talk loud, but he was about 6 inches away from the mic.
Yeah, the closer I get, I guess, the quieter I get, which is...
Right. It's the reverse effect.
I got you.
Just talk.
I'll get with it.
I mean, if you don't talk, then I got to just bring you up myself, which is not a problem for me. So either or. But yeah, he has that, Rico Suave, like, hello, everybody. I am here for you.
I'm basically a veteran at this point in the podcast realm, so hey.
Well, we need that soft edge to the podcast.
It's not that type of a podcast.
We'll see what the listeners say.
We'll see what happens over the course of this episode.
We will see what the listeners say, and that is a good point for me to bring in. Don't forget to find us on Twitter at ViewsandFacts. You can also find us viewsandfacts.podbean.com. On Facebook, leave us some comments, leave us some messages. Jeremy, do you have any Twitter account or any type of promo that you want to do just for yourself for whoever listens later?
Yeah, sure. So my Twitter is JerBreedLove.
Could you spell that?
JerBreedlove, and that's on Twitter. You can see me performing most weekends up in Sacramento.
And we will get to that location here shortly,
we will.
And we'll give them a shout out, even though they're not paying me to do that. They probably should. But maybe I also need a few more followers as well to start getting things going.
Yeah, man.
Well, that's good. Look, I'm trying to make it go both ways. Obviously, having you on here, I hope that people will enjoy this podcast and will want to continue listening. And so, obviously, I want you to have the opportunity that if they enjoyed you, if that they could follow you, come find you. No threats, hopefully. Right? No,
yeah.
I don't need anybody doing that type of stuff. But that way we can have a mutual sharing here.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah. So let's get into then what your passion is, and your passion is comedy.
That is true. Yeah. I've been doing comedy since 2009. And
that checks.
Yeah. Specifically, I've been doing comedy since improv comedy. So if you think about Whose Line Is It Anyway mixed with Saturday Night Live, that's what it is. So it's all off the top of the head, and we do these scene-based improv for the course of like 45 minutes to an hour.
Now, speaking on Whose Line Is It Anyway, because I love that show.
Yeah.
Did you ever watch the British version?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah.
I know we're all Americans here, but did you like that version as much? I did not, but maybe it's because I didn't get it.
I'm not a huge fan of British comedy, so like your Monty Python.
I have never seen that entire movie, by the way.
Neither have
Like
I.
Monty
No, a lot
Python
of
and the
people
Holy
shout.
Grail.
Yeah.
Nope, no clue.
It's just, I mean, a lot of people enjoy it, and I'm not knocking them because they have a pretty good show back in the day. Monty Python and the Flying Circus. That was pretty good. They had a pretty good sketches, but it's just Brits think there's things that are funny that me as an American don't, right? So like Douglas Adams, the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, right? It's a British dude, a lot of British like comedy in that book, right? So I didn't really get it. I didn't think it was super funny. It was an entertaining book, but yeah, it's just a different type of comedy, British versus American comedy, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Everything has to revolve around tea and crooked teeth.
Sure.
All right, back to the American version.
Crooked teeth jokes out there.
Hey, Snaggletooth. So back to the American version then of Whose Line. Sean, are you familiar with the show?
Yeah, I've seen some of that show.
Okay.
I saw some of the older seasons. I haven't seen too many of the newer seasons though.
All right, so the older season with Drew Carey.
Correct.
All right. So my question then to both of you, and maybe this won't apply too much to you, Sean, since you just kind of admitted that you haven't seen too much of the new one, but do you prefer Drew Carey, or I believe the new one is Aisha Tyler?
Yep. Yeah, Aisha Tyler. I like the Aisha Tyler one a lot.
Okay.
For some reason, I think it's just a little more raw and a little more. I think Aisha Tyler gets some of the butt end of the joke sometimes, and it seems like she's enjoying it a lot more than Drew Carey was. Either she just the way she laughs or whatever is a little more boisterous than Drew Carey's was, but it just seemed a lot more mild with Drew Carey, and it just seems a lot more like exciting with Aisha Tyler.
That's understandable. I will say when I was in Vegas, I saw it was Drew Carey and the Improv All-Stars. So it was an unaired, right? I mean, just a show on the Strip. And maybe that's where, when you're starting to reference that Drew Carey was a little bit more subtle, right, and calmer. Not on this show. I mean,
maybe because it's TV,
and
right?
Because I think he lives right for being he's saying anything that he wants to say.
Sure.
So I enjoyed. I enjoyed the Drew Carey version better. But that also comes down to I always enjoyed when he got on there and he did the hoedown. Because he was always a good second man.
Yeah, he was pretty good.
Yeah, it would go like Wayne Brady, Drew Carey, Colin Mockery, and then Ryan Stiles.
Yeah.
And when I see with the new show, the few episodes I have seen, it seems like it's faster paced, like than the older.
Yeah, I
show
can see that too.
With the guests and with just how quickly they have to move through. Which means they get more into it, more into each episode, but it just seems like it's a little bit faster paced.
I see that. I don't know if I would have looked at it as a faster pace. I mean, now that you put it that way, that might help tie it together. I always thought there was something off with the newer version, and it always seemed that they ended faster.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm not sure if they're going through more things,
like more content or something.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, if you have not seen Whose Line Is It Anyway, everybody, I highly recommend that you go on Netflix or Hulu or DVR, some shows.
Right.
Because great show.
It is.
Improv comedy, similar to Whose Line Is It Anyway, so forth. Would you call Impractical Jokers improv?
Kind of, yeah. So they're doing more like live, like in your face, more like reality based. I'm acting like this person to like real people.
Yeah.
Right? But it's all, I mean, improvised is more you're making it up like off the top of your head.
Right.
That's so if it's happening in reality, if it's happening with short form, which is what Whose Line Is It Anyway, or long form, which is what I do. So you have two different types, right? So long form is more like scene based, like think about like sketches from Saturday Night Live right off the top of your head. Whereas short form is more like games that they play, and you guys can kind of see that they're like, all right, the next game that we're going to play, right? That's short form, But all of it's improv because it's all nobody knows what they're going to do until they get up and do it, Right. So, yeah.
Okay, so you do improv. So I don't want to throw you on the spot. Do you know what? I'll say unit are you part of at the Comedy Spot, which is where you perform?
So I perform with the house show called Anti-Cooperation League.
Okay. I call them ACL for short.
ACL, yeah. We call ourselves ACL too.
Who's the MCL?
What?
It's on the other side of the knee. But go on. Look at that.
He's got a knee joke.
Yeah. Got that off quick.
This is a real comedy podcast right now.
I set it up.
He's got,
You have it written
I
down?
said-
his paper says MCL joke. Say MCL joke.
Let me cross that
this
one off
point.
the fucking list. All right, so you perform with the Anti-Cooperation League, which again is at the Comedy Spot down in Sacramento.
Yep, yeah, Sacramento Comedy Spot, and we perform on Saturdays at 9 p.m.
All right, do you know when they first started?
So they used to be. So a lot of members of ACL used to be part of a team called Free Hooch.
Let's just talk about the Anti-Cooperation League.
All right.
When did they start?
2000. I want to either say 2005 or 2007.
2007.
Yeah, okay.
I will give that to you. Look, I didn't
Yeah.
want to throw you on the spot right on that. Obviously they end up
I
listening to
got
this,
you.
and then it's our own guy.
Dude, our guy doesn't even know
who's
when
been
it
with us
starts.
since 2 years after we started.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know. But that's a long time. I mean, here we are.
Yep.
That's 8 years.
Our
practically.
10-year anniversary is this year. I'm trying to think when it is. I don't think we've nailed down a date yet, but
You can do something special for it?
I think we're gonna do like an anniversary show. We're gonna invite a bunch of people that were guests on our show
Nice.
to come and either watch or whatever. I don't know all the specifics about it yet, but we're definitely gonna have an anniversary 10th anniversary show. So it'll be fun.
Now, I don't know if you had mentioned this, and I apologize if this went in one ear and out the other for me. But were you doing comedy before you had joined the military when you did?
No, not at all. I've done zero. I've done zero like theater, zero comedy, zero stand up, zero anything. Right, and so the way I found out about improv is while I was in the military. I had a friend of mine, and I was like, let's go do something tonight, right? I want to go see some comedy, but I don't want to go see stand-up. I just didn't want to see stand-up at the time. I like stand-up, but I just didn't want to see it at the time. So I just typed in Sacramento comedy, and the first hit was Sacramento Comedy Spot. Looked it up. It was improv. It was down on Broadway at the time. They've since moved to Midtown, but they were on Broadway at the time, so we went and watched the show, and the owner said that, hey, if you guys stay, if you guys get like an all-night ticket, right, we'll give you like a little improv lesson at the end of the night, right? And I was like, all right, that's
Okay.
cool, right? And it was only like $4 extra for me. So at the end of the night, they gave us like a little improv lesson, and I got to do like a little like lesson with one of the people that actually performed that night, and I thought it was really awesome. I was like, man, I wish they did like classes and all that stuff, right? And then like lo and behold, like they started doing classes like really soon after that, right? So I started going to classes and just went from there.
How old were you when you first started? Then, or how old was that?
I was 24.
24?
Yeah, something like that. 23, 24.
Okay.
Yeah.
So somewhat educated.
Yeah.
I mean, since they
Yeah.
say that it takes us men to,
Right.
mature.
They say like 25 is when our brain's actually fully matured.
Yeah. But I mean, mine was probably, I mean, I think I'm still maturing a little bit, but
Aren't we all? I have a lot of maturing to do on multiple subjects, but neither here nor there, which is why I'm glad I'm doing this, episode of the podcast, because I could just be whoever I want to be.
yeah,
You can't say shit, because guess what? It's comedy.
that's right. There you go. That's right.
All right, so you've been down at the Comedy Spot with the Anti-Cooperation League then for about 8 years. They're about
Yep.
to have their 10-year anniversary.
Yep.
What is one of your most memorable moments that you've had there?
Comedy wise, he
Anything wise. I mean, if something tops that more than the comedy piece.
So I was on a team before ACL, and it was the Comedy Spot every once in a while does these like improv like tournaments, right? And people can put teams together and they can perform against each other, and then like the audience will vote on who wins and all that stuff. Well, they had a like a 3-on-3 kind of improv tournament. So you had 3 people that you could have on your team, right? 3
Yeah.
people on your improv team. I was with a friend of mine and another friend, Mignon and Rachel, and we were on a team called Double Trouble, and we ended up winning the tournament. And I was really surprised. I don't see myself as a amazing improviser. There's so many great people at the Sacramento Comedy Spot that I think do way better than I do on a daily basis, and I'm only able to do it like every other weekend for the most part because
Right.
I have a daughter and I have a wife and all that stuff, right?
You have a life.
I have a life,
Another
yeah.
life.
I mean, yeah, another life. But I was happy that we had won. Right, that was one of my like favorite moments at the Comedy Spot was winning that tournament with them.
2 questions.
Yeah.
You said it was a 3-person team.
Yep.
But your name was Double Trouble.
Yeah, I mean, I think
Is that part of the irony?
Kind of, sure. I mean, I don't think that we really like wanted it to be like this ironic name. We just needed a name for the team.
Okay.
And one of us was just like, how about Double Trouble? And we're like, all right, sounds good. Right?
Is that a board game? I feel like that's the name of a board game.
I
Or
think
maybe
it's
I'm thinking of like the
just Trouble. It's
Trouble.
Trouble, yeah.
Yeah, where you had the
Yeah.
little clear glass and you're keep punching it.
Right.
Or-
I think it was Double Trouble too because there were 2 girls and just 1 guy.
And then I'm thinking of
So
Double Dare.
girls.
That's the other thing I'm thinking of right now. Double Dare. Slime and catching flags. And
Dude, that show was great.
who was the host?
Mark Summers.
There you go.
Yeah, man. That show was so good.
He's
I
on
wanted
it.
to be on that show so bad. And they would win like the smallest amount of money. They would win like $200 and I'd be like, that's $200. Do you know how much candy I can get for $200?
I didn't even know that they had prizes. I thought it was just maybe
for
a
the heck
free
of it.
stay at, well, because it was down at Universal Studios.
Yeah, yeah.
So maybe
free
it was
tickets?
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we'll pay for the rest of your stay here.
Yeah, it seems like
Who
the
knows?
prizes were kind of subdued, but I definitely remember that there was some kind of money involved. And now looking back, I was like, there's not that much money involved.
Well, would you say that $200 then was the equivalent to maybe something over $1,000 now?
Maybe.
I mean, that was back in
The 90s?
The 90s.
It was like,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think it's
maybe.
much since then.
I'm just looking at the number now, though. You know.
Yeah, but
$200. I mean, inflation
$200
hasn't even gone
isn't-
double
yeah.
yet. We haven't inflated double
Well,
since the 90s.
okay. My reference point is gasoline.
Right. It
So
Sure.
back in the 90s,
was like a
for
dollar
sure,
a
that
gallon.
was I remember paying 88 cents a gallon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you get to where we're paying now $2.78, $3. Yes, I understand that there's a national average and people
But
in
then
the
there are
Midwest
like other
still paying
staples like
cheaper.
bread that you can still get it for like $1.50 a loaf.
True,
So
but I can live
Yeah,
Those
without
Arizona iced teas,
it's still 99
they're going
cents.
strong with that dollar. 99 cents, man.
I thought they upped the price on that.
No, I think they had I read an article about it. Like the reason why they're able to keep it at 99 cents. How many freaking Arizona iced tea like commercials have you ever seen?
That's a good
0.
point.
None.
That's why they're able to keep it at 99
And the can's a lot smaller than it
because
used to
they
be.
don't spend anything on it's just the quality. It's the quality of the
You know, I'm
Arizona
glad
iced
you
tea.
bring that up because that's the same thing that I feel with all those people that maybe have like Allstate or Esurance. You know how much money they put in their fucking ads.
Yeah.
So what are you paying? Like I don't
Yeah.
want that. I mean, I started getting upset. I use State Farm.
Yeah.
When they started going down their little State Farm kicks, I was like, stop. Just stop with it. Now I haven't seen my rates increase, so I guess that's a good thing. But
Yeah.
it was still we as people will go seek out what we need.
Sure.
And we'll be able to find out the best thing. So
Yeah.
but that's a good point. I didn't think of it from that standpoint on why they're able to keep it at that price.
Yeah.
Because they don't. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen
Like all of
one
them.
single commercial.
Yeah. 99 cents for like all of them. They have like their little
Hmm.
watermelon thing and their freaking iced tea and their green tea and all that stuff.
Look,
See,
if
they
it-
don't even really sponsor people either, do they? Too much? Because I was thinking about like Monster and stuff like that, and
Maybe-
you don't see
yeah.
their advertisements, but they sponsor like everything.
Yeah.
So they lose a lot of money through sponsorships, where
Sure.
that's their advertisement.
Or
But
they make a lot of
Arizona
money,
probably
too.
doesn't. I'm saying Arizona. I don't even think they really sponsor a lot, so they probably save a lot of money through that as well.
They can sponsor me if they want. Arizona, if you're out there.
You can
I'll just
sponsor
wear
this
like a
podcast
little
as well.
like a little patch on my shirt when
Do
I'm
it.
performing.
yeah. I mean, just take their shit and see if you're either going to get sponsored by them or you'll get sued.
Sure.
I think those are the two pieces.
So just change it to Smarizona. You guys know about the Smarizona iced tea?
There you go. Arizona diced tea.
So I have a question about your comedy as well, though.
Yeah.
So you told us about your best, but what is your worst experience you've had so far in the podcast or in the comedy business?
You know what? You have to keep going. Like you have to keep going and doing it. It's like if you don't use it, you lose it.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So like, for a while, I was having like really bad shows. Like, I was like, I think I need to stop doing comedy. I was like, it was that
Were you
bad.
not in
And
the right mindset, or were you just rusty?
Here's the thing: is like ACL. Like in my mind, that is like the pinnacle for me. It was right. So like another one of my best moments is when the owner sent me a message on Facebook and was like, "Hey, do you want to be a member of the ACL?" I was like, "Holy crap!"
How many
like, that's
people are a
what-
member at ACL? Just
I think there's about 9 or 10.
So it's a pretty
Yeah,
prestigious
right.
group then.
Yeah,
in all of
we're-
Sacramento.
We're
it's-
right around 10, maybe 11.
So that's pretty small for like Sacramento.
Yeah, I mean, it's for me. I thought it was great. Like, you get to perform every week. You know, it's something that a lot of people are going to come and see. You know what I'm saying? And I'd been putting in a lot of work on Thursdays and Fridays, and like doing shows where there's only like 2 or 3 people in the audience, but loving it because I love doing improv. So there could be 0 people in the audience, and I'd still perform. You know, it's fun to do. But for a while there, I wasn't. I mean, again, I have like a wife and a kid and stuff like that, so I'm not able to go to different stuff that they have during the week, you know. So they have stuff on like Thursdays. They have like Improv Jam, and they have this thing they call Cage Match, where you have members of the comedy spot will put their own team together, and they'll go against another team, and then the audience will vote, and then that team goes until they lose, you know. So putting a team together, or Improv Jams where you just show up, they'll put you on a team, and you do improv for 20 minutes, you know. So I'm not able to do that all that often, you know. So again, if you lose it, or if you use it, lose it. If you don't use it, you lose it.
That's the way of saying it.
Yeah.
Use it or lose it.
Yeah, use it or lose it, because you just kind of, your mind isn't as quick or witty as it was, you know, because you're not doing it as often. So I think I just kind of made it over that plateau, you know. I have good shows, I have bad shows, you know. But the good thing is that you're like with a team, you know. So like I could have a bad show, but we could have a great show together. So that's what I like about it a lot.
People kind of pick up the slack for each other sometimes.
Yeah, it's like people are like, "Hey, do you ever do stand up?" And I was like, "I've tried it, but it's not really for me. I think I'm more of a team player than just up there by myself." And yeah, I think it's a different dynamic doing stand up versus improv.
So your worst moment was just that you thought that you were going to be done with it.
Yeah, that I was just gonna be like, it was just,
Because you weren't going. Yeah.
it was just I wasn't doing great, and I did it for like 3 weeks in a row, because I was doing comedy like 3 weeks in a row, and every single week was like worse and worse. You know, so
all right, you would mention that you would have bad nights or good nights. How were you judging yourself if it was bad and or good? Are you going off of audience reaction? I mean,
sometimes, yeah. Sometimes, also, like, if I'm not getting into a lot of scenes, or like, the way it works is somebody comes out to do a scene, right? And somebody goes with them. That person that went out, they have an idea in their head of something that they want to do, right?
Right.
Either how they want to start, or what the game is going to be during that scene. I wasn't coming out at all. I was a blank canvas that it was just not being filled with anything, you know. So I was coming out and doing like support stuff, right, where somebody come out and I'd come out and kind of help them in the scene, you know. They want to do this thing, I'm like, all right, let's do this together, man, you and me. But I wasn't coming up with anything like original or smart or anything like that, you know.
all right, that's a good barometer. I think for me to be able to at least wrap my head around, because I'm thinking comedy's subjective.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm thinking. Like if you were trying to maybe wait for some audience reaction and didn't come, well, it doesn't necessarily mean that you were doing bad.
Right.
Could have just been the wrong audience.
Right.
So
And like my thing is like I don't blame the audience. I don't like to ever do that, because I should be able to have the audience have a good time and have a fun time, whether they're shitty people, whether they're freaking drunk off their mind, whether they're anything, right? It's not about the audience. I need to do my improv, and they need to laugh, basically, right?
But there are times where the audience, just as in consumers or the customer, is wrong.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
for everybody out there that claps at the end of a movie because you're in the audience, you're a piece of shit.
I hate that so much.
Nobody can hear you that was part of that movie. No need to clap. Just don't do it.
Don't take your 2-year-old.
You're
to
just
the 10
sending
o'clock
it out
movie
there. You're
either, please.
sending out you're sending it out to the ether. Like, man, I really like that show, man. I really liked it.
But
I get your
It's
point, man.
so
It is annoying.
Why?
It is annoying, but I will be honest with you. I've done it a couple
You're
times.
a movie theater
I
clapper?
have. No, not.
Oh,
I'm not a movie theater clapper, but there are like movies, like 1 or 2 that I've seen where I was like, "Holy shit, that was an awesome movie!" And just like clapping, just so like I can like just acknowledge
At
that
your
that was
house?
a great movie.
All right. Okay. There's,
Not that I'm thinking that somebody can. I hope somebody is listening to this. I
Right.
hope they have microphones in the theater.
Okay, I think there is something to be said for doing some sort of an expression, right? Because you are, I think, trying to get out maybe some, excitement, anxiety, or whatever, right? I mean, you're trying to do some sort of release,
Yeah,
as in comedy, right? Laughing, right, or tears.
sure.
So with a movie, there could be like, man, that was great, right? 3, 4, that's it.
Maybe that's for me. That's for me. The clapping is for me. Like, holy shit! Like acknowledging and getting out that excitement. That
right,
like,
and maybe yes, and in your subconscious, you might be saying something else, right? To be like, man, that was good.
Yeah.
But I don't need the whole audience to erupt, right? Because then that's when you know.
Yeah.
And the first movie that I ever remember this happening to was, and maybe this is why I'm so jaded, was with Jarhead.
Okay.
So when Jarhead came out, everybody clapped, and I clearly was in the theater then. I must have been with a majority of individuals, I'll say, that did not support the war.
Sure.
Because that's what my take on that movie was, right? And I think that's what they're trying to get across. Was that it was Desert Storm, right? Wasn't that what they were trying to?
I think so. Yeah.
I think that's right, because I remember the oil fields and like erupting and
yeah.
But anyways, going through like just the turmoils and
the emotional rocking that does to the soldiers, because it was trying to get really personal with the soldiers.
Right.
And
yes, with the hazing and then like he wanted that kill. Like I think that's what then the ending was. Like he wanted to get the shot. And
I think that I mean,
or maybe it might have been
not
the
to
other
get
guy,
into like a serious thing. I think part of it too was that like it was a rude awakening for all of them. That like it's a different type of war. It's a different type of military than it was in like World War II. It was like a different type of military that your dad had or your grandpa had, right? And that was that climactic moment when he was trying to shoot that freaking general in the
when he was on like the
tower, right?
Yep.
Yeah, and the freaking Air Force came in and they just freaking bombed it, because it's a different military, right? Like we don't have to have like 50 guys coming in or a sniper to come in to do that stuff, right? When we can just drop a bomb. And I think that's part of the movie, was that like it's a different type of war, and those Marines needed to understand that, right? And Jake Gyllenhaal's character kind of understood it. Like, all right, yeah, but that other guy was like, no, I'm a Marine. I'm supposed to do that, and that's why he like lost his mind. And I think that's kind of what it was. I don't really think Jarhead was against the war. I think Jarhead was a book too, right? Or was it just a movie?
I don't know. Look, I thought I would have to look this up, but I thought that Jarhead was, regardless if it was a book or not, I thought it was done by the same woman that did the Green Zone. Mm-hmm. I'll do a quick look above that.
Yeah.
You got it. All right, Sean's going to do a quick look above this.
Yeah.
Look, all right. Maybe it wasn't against the war.
Yeah.
My point would be then at the end is still, what was the clapping for?
Sure,
then, right?
Yeah.
So because you either had clapping for me, the issue was that those individuals weren't clapping because of the movie.
Yeah.
They were clapping because what my perception was against the war, right?
Mm-hmm.
And against hazing and against the military. So they were saying, yeah, way to get this up on the big screen,
like putting like the Marine Corps in like a bad light or something like that, right?
Yeah. Screw those guys, right?
Yeah.
World peace.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Good luck with that, because that's never going to happen.
So the first point is, yes, it was based off of a memoir written by U.S. Marine Anthony Swalford, who was Jake Gyllenhaal's character.
Okay.
That's all I've got so far. Still looking.
Do you okay. Well, I think the only other piece that we want to know is then now the producer or the director.
It was directed by Sam Mendes.
Sam Mendes?
Yeah. And who? What movie did you say?
Green Zone.
Green Zone.
I don't think it was Sam Mendes.
I think people took away from it, like what they wanted to take away from it. I didn't see the Marine Corps in a bad light. I didn't see the Desert Storm in a bad light or anything like that. I just think that it was a true telling of what a Marine's life would have been like in Desert Storm with like nothing to do. But I don't know, right? That's just what I got from it. That, and it's a different military that we're in. It's a different world, different military, different technology, etc. That's what I got from it. I didn't get anything against it or anything like that,
Okay,
so
touche.
Yeah.
I still don't understand the clapping. Sean?
No, that was a different director.
It was a different director?
Yeah.
Do you have her name? Because I don't like her. I really wanted
That
just
was
to...
Paul Greengrass.
Who did the Green Zone?
Yes.
Paul?
Directed by Paul Greengrass.
That's a male?
Who directed it, yes. With Matt Damon?
Man.
Maybe you're talking about, right?
Maybe I'm thinking of like Zero Dark 30 then or something.
The main chick was that redhead?
Yeah, I'm not
Zero
talking
Dark
about
30.
the actress. I was talking about
but-
the producer. There's a woman producer out there that is essentially against, war, the Defense Department, so forth. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's not critical. Just everybody know that is a thing right now. I'm not bullshitting you. If you think I'm wrong, let me know on Twitter.
I would be surprised if all of your
ViewsandFacts.
listeners are just laughing right now.
Paul Greengrass, we're sorry
Just
that we were.
this
blaming
is the
you.
best comedy. This is the best comedy right now.
Good. I don't even know
Yeah,
what's
man.
funny about it.
I just thought it was kind of funny, like how we like all of us went down this rabbit hole from like comedy, went to clapping, went to Jarhead, went to Against the War, back to the clapping.
Yeah, that's okay.
And you thought that both of those were directed by a girl.
I'm not trying to say anything by that. I'm not trying to put something in the subconscious
No,
of the
I feel you.
listeners.
I know.
But all right, I remember. So I'm 32. So I went to go see movies. The Matrix,
Yep.
300.
Yep.
I'll say like The Last Samurai.
Yeah.
Nobody stood in clap for those. Those were amazing movies.
Yeah.
And that I guess that's just it. What?
What
do you
makes
know-
people clap?
Nowadays, it seems like they're clapping after like every movie. I mean,
Oh, really?
The
Well,
last like 5 movies I've been to, it seems like people are standing up clapping for 'em, which
Freaking
is
go to any Marvel
ridiculous.
movie for
That's
freaking
definitely
sure,
true.
man.
I guess I go to a lot of the
Or any of the
superhero
Star Wars movies that have come out
Oh,
lately,
man.
right?
They're having like a 5-minute standing ovation. After
I will
the
say
movie.
that those movies are amazing, right? I
Yeah.
think every single one of them that I've
Yeah.
seen, like the Star Wars movies, are both great, right? That
Yeah.
have come out,
Oh,
like Episode 8 and freaking Rogue One, and then all the Marvel movies have been they have zero missteps to this point, and they're freaking like 20
I
plus
have a
movies.
strong
in.
appreciation for these movies. But
Yeah.
the standing up thing is. Or
Yeah,
the
I get you.
clapping.
There's a lot. Maybe there's a lot more clapping now than like, and it's
Seems
more
like to
just
me.
like people are like, let me give them my applause
Look,
all the way in Hollywood.
I want everybody to know. Right now, I'm trying to focus.
Yeah.
I'm being distracted by this giant wart on,
Dude, I saw it earlier before we started.
and now on Sean's left arm next to his elbow. Do you need a Band-Aid?
No, I'm good, man.
But that thing's bleeding, right?
Yes.
Are you gonna? You're not gonna transfer like AIDS or HIV or any sort of
I've had
disease
tests
into my house?
recently. I do not have HIV.
Okay. Now
like
you
a-
made it seem like you have something else. Like
No, I just said I confirm that
you just you
to
confirmed
go.
was I don't have HIV.
you should be safe with me.
Well, what
like,
happened? It
are-
wasn't bleeding early. Did you cut this
No,
on
I
the
just
table?
ripped it on myself. So I don't know.
On
That's-
yourself? Why aren't you getting that thing checked out, man?
No, I
That
would.
is
I don't have a lot
stop.
of time.
Dude, don't make
Yeah.
it go. Don't make it go more.
Stop.
No,
Stop.
I'm definitely gonna get
it's-
it taken care of soon. I just haven't had time lately. It's messed up.
I'm trying to concentrate, Jeremy.
Hey, man.
I look over and my eye. It's like a snaggletooth. Like we went back
I'm
earlier. That's just what I'm.
This is British comedy. You wouldn't get it.
That's what you're telling.
Dude, I'm a big
Okay.
like ADHD guy too. So like now that you brought it up,
And I'm gonna hold it right
it's
here.
gonna be real
Looking
hard
right
to
at
like
you.
put me back on the rails, brother. Oh my gosh.
You look like you need another reload of a beer.
I
though.
do, yeah. I gotta grab one.
Okay.
Let's do a commercial break.
Yeah. We're gonna go into
on the
a
spot.
we're gonna go into a quick commercial break. Yeah. Again, we were talking about the comedy spot.
With us four, right? Me, you, Sean, and his ward.
Yeah.
We gotta get it a mic.
Hey, you can
It's an
tweet at my word at.
That word mic'd up.
Will somebody start a
Hashtag-
Twitter?
Hashtag Sean's ward.
hashtag Sean's Ward. It's about to get famous, and then we can hold a funeral for it afterwards. But again, so we're gonna take a short break. We're gonna come back, and we're gonna kind of go into the a little bit of the evolution of comedy, maybe some major breakthroughs, milestones
Sure,
that
yeah.
comedy was.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll kind of throw us out some more test questions for Jeremy.
Damn it.
Hey, well, nothing right or wrong. I didn't know him either, so
I should have known that it was 2007 because I've known like
no,
all
it's-
year that
well,
this
it's
is the-
2017.
well, I should have known that
Oh,
ACL
that
started in
got that
right, though.
2007.
You got that one right.
Well,
Well,
he
I
said
said
2005 or
2007.
2007.
I've known it. Look, yeah, dude, it's August, and I've known that it's the 10-year anniversary all year. For some reason, I blanked. I was like, 2005 to 2017. That's 10 years, right?
All right.
Yeah.
So, again, you've got the Anti-Cooperation League, which is a crazy, weird, high-energy, fast-paced improv show that is relentlessly hilarious. Each week, the comedians of ACL interview a special guest and then create comedy scenes inspired by their interview. Guests range from Hollywood players to friends. and join them for the longest running comedy show in Sacramento, entertaining the masses since 2007. And you can find the Anti-Cooperation League, otherwise known as the ACL, at the Comedy Spot, which is at 1050 20th Street, number 130, Sacramento, California, 95811. And you can get a hold of them at laugh@saccomedyspot.com. That's laugh@saccomedyspot.com. We'll take a break. We will be right back.